They've been saying all day on the radio today that Christmas Eve is frightful. As you can see, I had to dig a pathway to let the dogs out for their morning pee because the snow was right up past the top of the window up here on the door. It's been snowing and blowing for the past over 24 hours. It's December 24th, and we are buried. Big time. Big time buried. Yep. My truck is plugged in because it's 17 below Celsius, which is about, I don't know, 27 below Fahrenheit, something like that, or 20 below Fahrenheit, but they say the wind chill is something like 32 below with the wind chill. So yeah, it's pretty deep. I wouldn't even have tried to get out in four-wheel drive because it's hard, crusty packed. Just from trying to dig this pathway out, it was packed in pretty tight. Hey puppies, we got a new puppy here since we lost Emma. And this is the victim's dog that my neighbor rammed with his pickup truck 4 times while he was sitting on his bicycle on the road. And he's been in hospital, and the neighbor across the road has been charged with attempted murder. Man, it's cold out here. And yeah, it's cold. I'm going back inside. Come on. It is damn cold. And that's all the firewood I have in the house. And I've got the stove cranked right up. And as everybody knows, that this place was flooded by my ex-wife, and she got the insurance check. As you can see, it's only 60 degrees in here because this place is so drafty. And I've been trying to stuff holes with foam and freaking insulation inside of plastic bags, places where the walls have pushed out and the floors have caved in. And she got a court order to get the insurance check for the write-off of the place back in 2014, and I've had to live this way ever since because I live, as everybody knows, I live on a Canada pension disability since I broke my back in 1987. And all the firewood I got is green. And I have firewood on the deck on the right hand side, which is buried in 4 feet of snow. And I also have firewood, fresh new load I just got the other day in the back of my truck. It's got a topper on there, but I see the back end of the truck being, there's no door on the topper. Anyway, this here is my new puppy that my neighbors bought me after Emma several weeks after Emma died. She was my partner in crime for almost 14 years. Meet Shania. Hey, Shania. Right, Shania? She's a German Shepherd cross with a English sheepdog. Can't think of the name of the breed. She is now, I got her when she was 8 weeks old, and I've had her now for a month and a half, I think. Yeah, so that's she's 11 weeks old. Yeah, Shania. And that's over there is King. His owner is the victim that dug across the street when all of he left here from helping me trying to fix some of the floors in here and stuff. He left here on his bicycle and he stopped at the end of my driveway. He's the same guy, a neighbor across the road, that keeps cutting my electric fence and chasing my cows, steers and cows out onto the road and ramming them in the ass down the road. And has tried to attack other people, and every time, since 2002, every time we called the cops to file a report, it was like, oh, we can't do nothing, there's not enough, no witnesses, or, you know, the courts won't take it, blah, blah, blah. And there's been witnesses, there's been video. And the springtime, when he cut my fence and ran my cows down the road, I blew up at the cops and said, what's it going to take him to kill somebody before you do something? Well, he's been charged with attempted murder, and he's out on a $1,300 no deposit bail after being in jail for, I think, 6 weeks. And which I think is totally absurd that he's out, because he's a menace and a danger to the public. And if we just Google attempted murder in Ware Township, Ontario, and I'm sure you'll find it. It's on Superior North website, and it's on a couple of others. Just trying to remember his last name, Doug's last name. Anyway, I watched the whole thing, and I had a rifle in hand, and I could have stopped it, but I know with our laws in Canada that it wouldn't be me going to prison for murder had I tried to stop him from killing Olive. He struck him 4 times with his pickup truck, and I had to revive him on the road, because it took 45 minutes for the ambulance to get here. Even though I requested air ambulance, they could land right in my field by the road. They sent land ambulance, and it was 47 minutes before the police got here. Now, he's been home, he's been in the hospital with severe brain damage. When I first assessed him laying on the road, he was bleeding from his left ear profusely. So, being I'm trained on first response with the old Lappy Fire Department, when I used to live in Lappy, bleeding right away indicated to me it was a cranial fracture. And he had no pulse, no breathing, and I worked on him until I finally got a very, very weak pulse, and very, very slow breaths. And then when they EMT got here, they gave him the old shock paddles there, and they took him out, and they got out to the highway, and they pulled into the Wildwood store. I guess there was some complications, and apparently they sat there in the parking lot there for about 40 minutes, I guess, trying to stabilize him. And he's been in the hospital. He got out about a month and a half ago, and he come back out here, and his brain is not communicating with his legs at all, and he lives by himself, off grid, and he just found it too hard to do, being he can't barely walk. And then he started to have complications, and now he's back in hospital again. And this happened back in September, the 10th, I think it was. Yeah, so what you doing, Shania? Eh? What you doing? Eh? What you doing? Whoop. What you doing? Eh? Yeah, I lost Emma back in, I think it was October. It was very hard on me, and still is. Ow! Don't bite. Don't bite. No. That's her biggest problem, is she likes to bite. You can see the back of my hand here. I had to take my Dremel and file down her front claws and her dew claw, because they were just like razor blades. And she had me all gouged up, and now I just full of scabs. Didn't want to have to sand them down, but they were just like razor blades. And I think she needs them done again, because I feel I'm starting to get pretty sharp. See, don't bite. So it's quite the snowstorm out there, and it's not supposed to stop until later today sometime. It started night before last, about 7 o'clock at night, and it's still going on. We called for 20 centimeters, which is about 15 inches. Night before last, and we woke up to 2 feet, and then they called yesterday for an additional 10 centimeters, which is about 1.5 inches, something like that. Well, we got about another 10 inches or more. It's hard to tell because it's drifted so much, and like the drift of my door was up to my shoulders, and I'm 6'2". I had to shovel a path out to let the dogs out this morning, because it was just a wall of snow when I opened the door. So I just come on here today to, whoop, what are you doing? What are you doing? Eh? What are you doing? Just came on here today. I know I haven't been on for a long time. I've had health issues. I've had all kinds of heart tests done, and then I had an angiogram done, and 2 stents put in, and all summer there, I was down from that one steer that horned me right in the ribs and broke 2 ribs. So that put me down all summer from doing anything. I don't know if anybody's ever had broken ribs, but they're painful no matter and it takes months to heal, and it's almost impossible to breathe. And now that same one just got me, and he head-butted me in the back back corner of me on my left side, and it knocked the wind out of me when he first did it, and it kind of hurt a bit. And then I felt okay about an hour later, and I started doing a few things. Went for a load of firewood, and the next morning 2 days later, I woke up and it was like I couldn't even move. It hurt so bad, and it's been hurting ever since. And him and the other number 50, they were supposed to go into the abattoir and be slaughtered on the 23rd of November, but they canceled me and wanted to reschedule me for June. Well, no, that's not going to cut it. So in the new year, I'm going to gather some people up again like we did this past spring, and we're going to slaughter them here, and we'll hang them in my root cellar with some fans going in there, because that root cellar stays between 34 and 36 degrees year round. And I'll hang them in there for 10 days, but I've only got room to hang one at a time. I could put 2 in there at a time, but that would make it pretty jammed in there, and if I had a problem with my pressure tank or anything like that, I wouldn't be able to get to it. That's where all my well pressure tank is, because my drilled well is in the back corner of the root cellar, and my pressure tank and water softener and everything is all in the back corner there with it. So anyway, everybody, have a very Merry Christmas and good holidays. Stay safe. We go down into a full lockdown on Boxing Day here due to the Big B, or the Big C, whatever you want to call it. And we go down in a full lockdown on Boxing Day. And there's not a place in town, or even out here, that you can get into that's public without a mask on. You don't get in the door, period. And it's been that way for quite a while. And if you fight it and force your way in, you get charged. And this lockdown here is, they've been handing out big fines ever since this thing started. People walking in a park have gotten fines up to $1,800. So anyway, take care, everybody. Have a very Merry Christmas, and we will talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.